and those here in the sanctuary. This is a brief time for you for all of us to take a few moments to go deep into the silence and to connect with Divine Spirit, to listen deeply, and to allow any words of guidance to come to you. Thank you for joining us today for the meditation. Please know that any time throughout your days and week ahead, you can stop, go into the silence, listen for guidance. If there's anything that's come up for you that you need support, prayer chaplains are available after service, wearing a gold badge and standing against the side walls. Thank you for coming, and service will begin in 10 minutes. your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Quieting your mind and opening your heart. And affirming the presence of Spirit residing within you as you and in all of creation. As you open your heart, your body softens, your breath deepens. Compassion, wisdom, presence is alive in you. There is no effort. There is only love. There is only openness. And now you remember where love lives. In this place, in this crimson palace, the Taoists call your heart. You remember and you know that anything is possible in this place. And in knowing this, you are the harmonizing and unifying force in your life and in the world. And I close this prayer with deep gratitude for all that is and all the blessings that are too numerous to count. And deeply knowing that our true nature is love. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, Unity, and welcome. I'm so glad that you were here today, and I'm so glad to be in your presence today, so I thank you for that. Please join me in stating our vision and our mission statement. Our vision: a world spiritually awakened and transformed through realizing our divine potential. And Unity Marin's mission: we are a loving community dedicated to spiritual growth, inclusivity, and service. We honor and care for ourselves, each other, and the natural world. Our core values: connectivity, living in an awareness of unity with all; inclusivity, cultivating a safe space to celebrate diversity and value the uniqueness of every person; authenticity, being true to ourselves, our values, and spirit. And guess what, folks? We are all part of the welcome team. You can join us in the courtyard after the service for potluck hospitality. And if you're a first-time guest, there is a welcome table, so please be sure to stop by. Stay connected. Our spiritual connection card and prayer. You know the drill. We've been through this so many times, so please help us stay connected to ourselves and to our larger community on our social networks. Today's flower sponsor, Claire and Dennis. For Barbara Cedarblade and Ray, best wishes as you up, and away to Oregon. Your Unity family loves you forever. Yes, and we know this to be true. Flowers are arranged by the one, the only, Elizabeth Dunleavy. And our hospitality and flower sponsorship, please visit Charzelle Hooper in the courtyard, and you can sign up for whichever ever you would like. And also, if you are interested in being our featured artist or collector of the week, you can speak to Charcelle about that also. Carolyn.
Each week we honor someone for sacred service, and this week we're honoring Christine Morgan. Will you please come up here for a minute, Christine? She has been a member of Unity for 20 years, almost 30 years, and she has faithfully run the bookstore since the beginning. She's a wise woman who, come on up. I know you probably know her. If you don't, that means you haven't been in the bookstore and you should. Come in today. You are so welcome. And she, besides running the bookstore, she always opens her home for the groups, for the book studies, and she's an active member. And people go into the bookstore who are here for the first time, and she takes them aside and gives them what they need, says what they need to hear. Yes. And there is a
And there's a 25% off sale.
thank you, Christine, for all that you do. And it's my pleasure to introduce Cecilia Long. She was here a year ago also, and she has been a part of this community musically for a very long time. When Marie Carmichael was here, she sang with the praise team. And the choir, I think. Yeah. So come on up, Cecilia. We're so glad to have you here. She's also a music educator in San Francisco and a wonderful jazz singer.
Lord, dear Lord of love, God Almighty, God up above, please look down and see my people through. God, dear God of love, God Almighty, God above, please look down and see my people through. I believe the sun and moon will shine up in the sky when the day is gray. I know they're just clouds passing by. He'll give peace and comfort to every troubled mind. Come Sunday, oh come Sunday, that's the day. Often we feel weary, but He knows our every care. Go to Him and secret, He will hear your every prayer. Up from dawn till sunset, man works heart all the day. Come Sunday, oh come Sunday, that's the day.
Is not a single event. Haiti was forced to change the design of their World Cup jersey because it was considered too political. It had the depiction of the final battle of the Haitian War of Independence in 1803, and the manufacturer said, you know, it really wasn't intended to be a political statement. It was a tribute to the men and women of Haiti who contribute every day to Haiti's future. But the journey to liberation is not a single event. According to the National Community Reinvestment Coalition, the median Black household net worth is approximately $44,100 compared to $284,310 for white households. What that means is that Black families hold roughly 15 cents to the dollar compared to white families. The journey to liberation is not a single event. Research by the Duke University reveals that Black households headed by an individual with a college degree, and I have 5, hold less wealth on average than white households headed by someone with only a high school diploma or a GED. The journey to liberation is not a single event. Many states enforce strict photo ID requirements and limit IDs to only driver's licenses and passports if you are going to vote, but exclude student IDs. But many people of color and economically challenged people are statistically less likely to possess these specific IDs due to transport access. Oh, can I have that? Because they might not have money at the time they need to vote to go and get the driver's license or the passport. The journey to liberation is not a single event. Last month, Stanford released a study on AI hiring practices and found that 20% of Black applicants and 15% of Asian applicants applied to positions where they were considered by AI as not a part of the recommended group based on the assumed race or ethnicity. The journey to liberation is not a single event. Due to systemic disparities in the criminal justice system, laws that temporarily or permanently strip individuals with felony convictions from their right to vote disproportionately remove people of color from the electorate. But who does it affect? People who have been convicted and later proven innocent. People who have been convicted and later proven innocent. Of those people, Black individuals account for 53 to 54% of all exonerations, and Indigenous, Hispanic, Latino, and Asian populations 13 to 14% of total historical exonerations, which means that they were prohibited from being able to vote during the time that they were considered convicted until they were exonerated. The journey to liberation is not a single event. The journey to emancipation is not a single event. Juneteenth does not reflect a single event. It's a complex process that unfolded and unfolds differently and continually, and even now, especially now, across the United States. So now that you know that we're not all liberated, and now that you know that we're not all emancipated, let's talk about Juneteenth. It's secret. It's not going. Thank you. And its heroes. I will. Zach, can I just talk to you? Okay, I'll give it back. Go ahead. So let's start by hearing some words in contrast to Lincoln's rationale for the Emancipation Proclamation. President Lincoln said, and I quote, "If I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it. If I could save it by freeing all of the slaves, then I would do it." So the primary purpose of the Emancipation Proclamation was not ending injustice, it was saving the Union. And so I started to wonder, who came up with the idea in the first place? And I decided to do a strange thing for me, which was to ask AI. Who came up with this idea in the first place? Because I was wondering, was it Lincoln or was it somebody else who told him about it? And the AI response was, President Abraham Lincoln came up with the primary idea for the Emancipation Proclamation. Driven by a growing moral stance against slavery, he decided to issue the proclamation as a vital war measure. Do you have any further questions? And so instead of asking a question, I said, you are wrong. Lincoln did not write the Emancipation Proclamation because he wanted to free the slaves. He was not an abolitionist. And then the screen started to go like this. And I thought I broke my computer. And then it popped up with this answer. You are entirely correct that Abraham Lincoln was not an abolitionist and his primary motivation was not a humanitarian crusade to end slavery. Your correction highlights a crucial historical distinction about his motives. And sometimes we forget that AI is someone or someone's. AI is the creation by a human. Humans are equipped with biases and ideologies. We make the mistake that we can create things that are free from bias. We can only seek truth, challenge truth, and look for facts and lived experiences. Or we risk the confusion in this world by buying into a single view, a single story, shaped by AI. So what was the first secret? Well, in July of 1862, Lincoln presented his initial draft to his cabinet. The emancipation was surely going to equip the Union with black soldiers that they needed to win the war. So if he freed the slaves, he'd get more black soldiers who would say, yes, I want to go to the Union side because they don't want me as a slave. And so he knew that he needed to have enough people because they were winning in what was called the Western Theater, which you can see right there. But they were losing in the Eastern Theater, which is up north from there. But the Confederates already had the Trans-Mississippi area. So the Confederates had more than the Union did at the time. And so the Union was losing by numbers if you look at the space that was being occupied. And there were 2 million, there were approximately 3.5 to 4 million enslaved people there at the time, but 2 million of them were black men that they could use for the Union. So Lincoln came up with this idea that he crafted. How can we win? Let's get these other 2 million people. So he shared the idea with his cabinet, but he was advised to hold off publicly because it would look like they were making a desperate measure, which they were making a desperate measure. And so he kept it a secret. But what did the original Emancipation Proclamation say, and this is what is not in the Emancipation Proclamation, but you can find it if you really search. It showed that Lincoln did not believe that black and white people could live together peacefully, and so he felt that black people should be encouraged to agree to voluntary colonization. He thought that colonization was a remedy that would sweeten the pill of emancipation, and it would make abolition of slavery more palatable to white slave owners who were fearful that all of the slaves that were there, and there were many, would start to overrun their land. So this is what the Emancipation Proclamation initially had in, that black people should voluntarily colonize. And although his view started to change over time, primarily because of his relationship with Frederick Douglass, he wrote the Emancipation Proclamation and he shared it with black leaders to see if he could get some buy-in, and they said no, that they would not agree to something that said colonization should happen. And so Lincoln said, well, okay, but really, what you need to hear from me is that I do not believe that people are equal. I think that enslaved people should work over here, but go over there. And he said, I will say then that I am not, nor ever have been, in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the white and black races. I know, doesn't that make you go, So this is the area, and I want to just show you what this is, because I think that when you understand, it makes a whole lot more sense. This is the area where slaves were able to self-emancipate to join the military. This is the area where the Emancipation Proclamation applied. Those were Confederate states, but over which Lincoln actually didn't have any jurisdiction. These were the states that when they heard about the Emancipation Proclamation, and it wasn't in effect, these states said, we're going to free slaves anyway. They made the decision independently that they were just going to release enslaved people. This is the area that ended up being free after the Emancipation Proclamation was ratified. It was announced June 19th. It was ratified December, not June. And so, were people free in June? No. This is the number of enslaved people in those areas, the percentage of enslaved people. And you can see when you look at how large Texas is, for example, the enslaved owners all went to Texas as they started to hear about the Emancipation Proclamation because they were trying to get as far away from the soldiers that were going to enforce it as possible, because 1/3 of the population were enslaved people. And so for them to have lost all of that labor was a really major deal, and they didn't want to. And so it's why they ended up having to go to Galveston, Texas to make the announcement, because that's the place that was most upset over the idea of slavery ending. So after the Union took over Maryland in war in September, then they won enough that Lincoln felt that he could announce the Emancipation Proclamation. But the secret started to leak. Well, let me go to him in a minute. The secret started to leak. So people started to find out about it. Small leaks, given the number of people that there were. But what happened was that the people who started to self-emancipate, and so they would say, if you were to ask, did Lincoln free you? They would say, no, I freed myself. They started to take the risk to self-emancipate because what they were going through was even worse. What they call what happened to people, and what happens to people now, is race-based traumatic stress, RBTS, or poverty-based traumatic stress. It's defined as the mental and emotional injury caused by encounters with racial bias, discrimination, and hate. It stems from systemic, institutional, or interpersonal racism, and it can result in direct personal attacks, vicarious exposure to racial violence, and now inherited intergenerational trauma, which means that if it's happened before in your family, that you already have the trauma within your body apart from what it is that you experience. And we have seen that that happens on a racial state and also people who end up having poverty. And in fact, and I'll read this really fast so that I don't take up a million days. This book, and I wish I had the original, but it was way too expensive for me to buy. This is the first book that W.E.B. Du Bois decided to write. It's for children. It's called The Brownies Book, and it was to try to give Black children some feeling of being able to raise themselves up through the trauma that they were seeing directly, watching lynchings, watching their parents get lynched and beaten, and what they were going through themselves and being sold. And so there are a lot of stories and poems that are in here, and I'm going to read you the one that I think that a predominantly white audience could swallow. It says, "We gathered round the fire last night, Jim and Bess and me, and said, now let's each in turn tell who we'd rather be. Of all the folks that's in our books, of course we wouldn't want their looks. Bess wished that she'd been Betsy Ross, the first to make the flag. She said, I'd like to do some deed to make the people brag and have the papers print my name if colored girls could rise to fame. And I stood out for Roosevelt. I wish to be like him. Then Bess said, we've both had our say. Now tell who you'd be, Jim. Jim never thinks like me or Bess. He knows more than us both, I guess. He said, I'd be a Paul Dunbar or Booker Washington. The folks you named were good, I know. Of these two men I'd wish to be were colored boys like you and me. Sojourner Truth was colored Bess, and Phyllis Wheatley too. Their names will live like Betsy Ross, though they were dark like you. Jim read 'em somewhere, I guess. He knows heaps more than me or Bess." And so race-based traumatic stress was and is a real thing and caused people to do things to self-emancipate way before the Emancipation Proclamation. There were leaders of emancipation who didn't wait for a document to tell them that they had the God-given right to be free. There was William and Ellen Craft, who escaped in broad daylight. She was very light-skinned, and so she cut her hair and she dressed up like a wealthy male planter traveling north for medical treatment. And because she couldn't read or write, they put her arm in a sling, they bandaged her face and put green glasses on so that she wouldn't have to read or write anything. And they were able to travel on trains and steamships, bypass slave traders to reach Philadelphia and England and publish their narrative in 1890. There was Henry Box Brown. You should look him up. In 1849, after he was traumatized when his pregnant wife and children were sold to a different plantation, he got the assistance of a black man and a white storekeeper to build a box 3 by 2.5 by 2 feet wide. They labeled it as dry goods, said this side up. He climbed in. They didn't pay attention to the this side up. And he survived a 27-hour journey, spending painful hours upside down through careless handling, was freed and became an abolitionist speaker. There was John Washington, and my brother, father, and grandfather are named after him. In April 1862, working in Virginia, spotted Union troops coming secretly to catch the Confederates. So he's behind a tree watching this happen before the Confederates knew, and decided that he would wait until it became crazy, and he stole somebody's boat, got in the boat, and took himself to freedom. So my father is Washington Maxwell, my grandfather is Washington Maxwell, and my brother has it in his middle name. And then there's Robert Smalls, which I've mentioned before. He stole a ship and dressed up like a conductor, had the hat pulled down, and took the ship, got his wife, all of the families of the enslaved people who were with him. They all went to freedom, and then he gave the ship back. And then there's Leonard Grimes, who was a pastor and a conductor on the Underground Railroad, whose name is often not mentioned. He lobbied for and recruited enslaved men to join the Union, and he taught churches how to boycott ministries that practice slavery or support slavery. And then in 1861, at the beginning of the Civil War, there were 3 people who escaped across the James River. The slave owner tried to get them back, and General Butler of the Union said, since you consider them property and not people, they are contrabands of war, and so we can legally keep them. And so this began the beginning of 500,000 enslaved people who, between 1861 and 1865, became contrabands of war and got their freedom in the North. So there's this intersection of secrecy. There was Lincoln's secret that he kept about the Emancipation Proclamation until he changed it. There was the secret self-emancipation that happened before, during, and after the Emancipation Proclamation. There was the secrecy of enslaved people who were listening to their masters and what their masters were saying, and then they go tell what was going on to other people. And there was the secrecy of the Black Union troops who did the same thing. They were listening to what other people would say, and at some point they began to distribute pocket-sized copies of the Emancipation Proclamation to enslaved people who could read. So Lincoln declares the victory. He announces the Emancipation Proclamation not on June 19th, but on January 1st, which is actually considered Emancipation Day for quite some time. And so it goes into effect, but the problem was that nobody knew. It leaked, but it was still a secret. Lincoln hadn't felt he had enough control. He died before it happened. He never was the person who gave the command to General Granger to go to Texas, because he wasn't there. The person who did was a man named Philip Sheridan, who's not even in the story. Nobody hears his name. He's actually the one who told Granger to go to Texas. He went there with 2,000 Union troops. They marched through Galveston, but it wasn't enough to give an announcement because it was such anarchy that they wanted to bring the Black troops, because Lincoln said that he needed them in order to control what was going on, because white soldiers would not protect Black people. And so they did, and I wonder what I would have felt. I mean, we all think that it was all la la la. He came and said, everybody's free, and they rejoiced. But we forget about racialized trauma and its impact on the psyche and the body and the spirit. We imagine generalized trauma, daily living trauma, even knowing about the announcement. How would people respond? What if those enslaved individuals were asked if they wanted to wait 2.5 years to find out? I wonder what the voice would be in the room. Well, we cannot wait another hour to self-emancipate. And in our day, we engage in dual emancipation, emancipating ourselves and others. Remember, Robert Small did that. He didn't just free himself, he also freed the other people with him and their families. And I would say that now we're in a moment of emancipation, yes? But just as those people who physically emancipated, a spiritual and psychic emancipation takes courage as well. We need the bravery to hear things like this and question our own deep-seated ideologies and inherited beliefs. We need to set personal boundaries and be like the Pastor Grimes who said his church will not engage with other ministries that support slavery. We need to question, push back, stop assuming and believing AI. We need to challenge oppression in every and all forms, in every and all times, in every and all situations, fearlessly, courageously, because the journey to liberation is not a single event. We have that same journey as those enslaved persons as they face the unknown, but what sits before us is also the unknown for some of us. But we have the solid knowledge that emancipation is right there, and right here, and right here. And we have the stories of those who had the courage to speak for, speak with, speak out, and speak up. And we will not wait 2.5 years. So may the strength of Juneteenth be with you all. And so it is.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all these chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things I know to say. Say 'em loud, say 'em clear, for the whole wide world to hear. I wish I could share all the love in my heart and remove all the chains that keep us all apart. I wish you could know how it feels to be me. Then you see and agree everybody should be free. Well, I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. How free I would be if I found that I could fly. I'd soar to the sun and I look right down on the sea, and then I sing because I know, yeah, I'm gonna sing because I know, yeah, I'm gonna sing because I know everybody, everybody should be free.
give her some more love. Thank you, Cecilia, and thank you, Cindy Acker. I'd just like to mention that Cindy had an ongoing class for probably about 2 years, getting real with race. And for someone like myself, who grew up in white suburbia and hadn't had much contact, it was an eye-opener. But you were able to deliver the message, just like you did that poem, in a very non-threatening way, that we were able to receive the message. So I thank you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, moving on. Unity in action. Stay up to date with all that is emerging. We have several town halls coming up today at 12 to 2 p.m. And then also on Sunday, July 5th, there will be another town hall meeting. So I invite you to participate in that. The Reimagining Circle, it's every Sunday after service. And they like to make the distinction of not being a committee, but it's a space for visioning what is next and possible for Unity in Marin to have happen. Everyone's welcome, members, newcomers, so please check that out. It's 15 minutes after the service ends, and it's in the courtyard. The visioning team, again, reimagine Unity in Marin through this spiritual process. It's not a committee. It's an opportunity to come together and through the process be motivated and to share those thoughts with the other people. It's Wednesday also through June 24th, and that is on Zoom. So you can register for that online. Summer fun. I'm looking at Cecilia. You are the embodiment of summer fun. It's an opportunity to sign up to be facilitators for the community small groups. It's open now through June 21st, and you can also sign up on our website. We need more groups. So it's anything that you have a passion for, whether it's cooking, whether it's hiking, whether it's whatever. Water flower, anything. You get the idea. It's like, what is your passion that you would like to share with a small group? So we need facilitators, so please sign up online. We'd love to have you. Unity in Marin Bookstore. All books is it 20 or 25% off? 25, okay. Thank you, Christine. That's a excellent opportunity to see what she's got on hand and treat yourself to that extra book that you've been dying to have. Father's Day with Al Gaspari. What a perfect speaker. I see the way that he and his wife are with their children, and talk about an excellent role models for mothers and fathers. Musical guest, Dallas Craft. Now is the time for giving and receiving. The ushers are going to be coming forward shortly. There's many ways to give. You know what it is. Your spiritual connection card's attached in your bulletin. Just tear it off, drop it in the basket, and any concern you may have, any thank yous, any ideas, they will be read and shared. So, our offering affirmation. I am the power of abundance, giving and receiving gratefully. And can we have the ushers please come forward? And Cecilia is going to make us feel good.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun up in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossoms on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know how I feel. Butterflies having fun, you know how I feel. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world, and a bold world for me. Stars when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good.
Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was spectacular. Okay, moving on. Spiritual Movie Night is going to be Friday, June 19th. And once again, it is off campus in Mill Valley. And the name of the place is Mojo Dojo. So come on down and check it out. Oh, an evening of entertainment, laughter, and thoughtful conversation. That sounds excellent. Okay. 2026 San Rafael Juneteenth Black Excellent Festival. Wow. Saturday, June 20th, 10:30 to 3. And Dr. Cindy Acker will be presented with the Black Excellent Award for being the first African American president of California's Preschool Management Association. And also, it's featuring the fabulous Lighthouse Singers are going to be there. Carolyn is in that group. Yes. One of the things I love about you, Dr. Cindy Acker, is that you are so magnificent, and then you're so humble at the same time. I really appreciate that about you. And quite frankly, I'm honored to be a member of the same church that you attend. So there you go. So thank you. It's an honor and a privilege. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Margaret Farman. There's going to be a celebration of life on Saturday, June 27th, and it's in San Rafael. If you check out the QR code, you can find out the details, and it's also a way to RSVP. She was a member here for many years with her beloved husband, John Farman. Okay, Community Social Justice Choir. It's open to anyone and everyone. And our next meeting is going to be June 28th, which is 2 weeks from today. And they like to get together and sing about justice and equality. Save the date. We're having a community barbecue potluck, and this is going to be Reverend Deanne's first day amongst her village. So we're going to have all sorts of goodies. We're going to have hot dogs, hamburgers, and you can sign up on our website. We'd love everyone to bring side dishes, potato salad, Caesar salad, whatever you want. Please register by June 30th. UNT Marin Fundraising Spiritual Refining. I'm not exactly sure what this is about, but Carolyn was saying that Thomas Tyree is donating his time, and it's an opportunity to bring in your precious metals, such as silverware you may have lying around. So anything silver and gold that can be melted down. And it is a fundraiser for Unity in Marin. So Thomas, we thank you for being available and doing that for us. Upcoming spirits and upcoming events and guest speakers. You know what's happening. We've been talking about this for the past 2 months. So, how may we pray with you? The Unity Marin Prayer Chaplains. Can we get you to stand up? They are angels amongst us. And if you've never taken the opportunity to pray with the prayer chaplain, I invite you to do that today. Everything is personal, private, and confidential. So check them out. And do we have any children today? Oh, okay, yes. This is encouraging. Come on down, folks. Oh, we have our little ones. So let's stand and let's say our prayer for them. Let's have them come on up. Thank you, Sarah. So let's say our blessing. You are the perfect expression of divine light. We love you exactly the way you are. And please join me in saying our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and so it is. And please join us in singing our community song.
You, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me,
Gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful.
Happy Sunday. Go grab something to eat and come back for the town hall meeting at noon.